Getting close to Christmas. December 21st, shortest day of the year. It's very cloudy out. My chickens are looking to be fed. It's gonna be, we have a couple of days here that are gonna be above freezing. So we're gonna be looking to do a last scramble for cleaning up our yard today. And then getting some other things straightened up. Oh, I gotta get the cat food. Forgot. We've got a system now where our hoses are not freezing, at least as bad. It took me a couple of days to get it to where they were all cleaned out, but flushing out all the ice, snow, slush, and then hanging them for a night, then doing that again the next day, flushing out whatever remaining ice, and then hanging them, and now they're ice free, completely clear. So now anytime I use the hoses, just drape them over the apple tree right there, and then just leave them curled up right there. They're empty, so it's not like freezing temperatures are going to damage them that badly.
Some cow lost its hoof.
Yeah, poor thing.
That was a big cow.
See? Like I barely squeeze and I'm barely squeezing right now. It's coming off. And when I'm squeezing a lot like this, yeah, let go, it still drips. Yeah. Want to give that to Kitty? Yeah.
Oh, mine heavens, you're almost leaking back there. We pour it into this right away and then put the lid right on top of it, and it prevents any dust and hay from flying in, keeps it clean. Huh? Smells from getting in there, yeah. And then if she were to poop or pee or whatever, surprise, surprise, it's covered and it's not going to be, I mean, we're still going to move it out of the way, but. Yeah, I sent AJ another message on Facebook that just said, hey, we got a couple of pigs ready for hog heaven anytime.
You guys don't have that light on?
No, because I've got the heater on.
Oh.
So, but we can unplug the heater because it's not going to get below freezing today. And then use the light for the milking area. So I need to empty, I would like to anyway, empty out this stall completely, the little one, since we're not using it right now. But I'd like to empty of any organic material so that we can start fresh and we're not harboring mice and rats. Okay, so our project, or actually Ethan's going to be the one working on it the most, the project that he's going to be doing today is going to be all of that out there. It's just so rough and full of holes, potholes. Yeah, so, and it's worse, the worst over here by the water. See, right now it's muddy, but as soon as that freezes, that's going to be really hard on their feet. And if we can make it so that it's flat, a little bit more even, and then let it freeze. So that's going to require a lot of work, even considering moving this water out here to the pasture area. It's going to require a longer hose, but I'm already detaching the hoses anyway to run water out to them. So we just have to make a decision as to what we want to do. I'd really like to empty this out so that there's just one path for them to go to the holding pen, and they would prefer to not be in here either, and just kind of let it heal a little bit. I know they would prefer to have their water out here anyway in the pasture area, so yeah, we'll see. Man, there's just a lot of work that needs to be done. Sometimes it's very, very overwhelming. Right now, I gotta go filter milk. So continuing a little bit on our video for the day, one of the Christmas presents I'm making for my mom is some homemade hand and face cream. I make a pretty thick, heavy-duty face cream, hand cream. It has a lot of cocoa butter in it and some jojoba oil, aloe vera, some almond oil. It's just really heavy, thick stuff, and not everybody's going to do well with it, and I get that, but our family does do very well with it. My skin tends to be very oily, but I wash my hands a lot, so I like this because it doesn't evaporate very quickly, but it's not a thin oil that just kind of makes my hands feel like I just dipped them in olive oil and, you know, now they're oily everywhere. So I think one of the things that makes the biggest difference for my stuff is that I do add a lot of beeswax, and I have some different, you know, thoughts on that. They may not be substantiated, but true beeswax has a lot of antibacterial properties and is a very natural substance. It can clog pores. There's some in there. Oh yeah, it can clog pores, so you just have to be careful what works best for your skin. Some people have said the same thing about coconut oil too. So again, just figure out what works best for you. But I'll just kind of show you what I do. My mom really likes this stuff. I really like it, and we have just recently kind of run out of it. I think the last time I made some, I want to say it was like 3 years ago. So it lasts a really, really long time because we don't use very much of it. So for the hand cream that I'm using, it's half and half beeswax and cocoa butter. And then I add in, I've got over here on the table, let's see if you can see over here. Oh, let's see, there we go. So I've got my block of beeswax here that I'm just kind of chopping up into shavings. Some cocoa butter right here that I'm scraping off and putting into my little crock pot. Some unrefined, cold pressed virgin oil, coconut oil, almond oil, some aloe that does not have alcohol in it, some liquid lanolin, that's really good. I've got some vitamin E capsules, and then just some essential oils that are, you know, nice to have to make it smell nice. For this one I'm going to use lavender oil, rose, cedar, patchouli, and jasmine. But these are some of the ones that I use frequently. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it right over here into my little crock pot. Okay, and I'm just kind of letting it melt. So I've got it on high and just letting it melt until I get the amount that I'm looking for. I buy the beeswax as a block. It is really hard to cut. But if you've got the patience and the strength for it, I recommend it, because to buy the beads is really expensive. Make sure you've got a good knife and that you've got a good strong work surface. But just kind of shave it off. Just be careful not to cut yourself. careful about your hands. Okay, I've added some more beeswax, and I added some coconut oil. Now I'm adding in some capsules of vitamin E. Just squeezing out the capsules. And if you decide to do something like this, just figure out what amounts work best for you. You can also use a similar recipe to make your own, like lip gloss, chapstick. And in this weather, that can sometimes be very, very helpful. I have tried making chapstick, and that has gone very well. You don't use as much beeswax, of course, but the coconut oil for sure, and a little bit of cocoa butter, because you do want it to be somewhat soft, but you do need some beeswax just to help it not melt quite so quickly. Beeswax will still melt at high temperatures, but not as quickly as coconut oil will. One thing we did discover, don't use cinnamon oil in your chapstick because it burns really bad. Some people like to add peppermint oil, but my lips still burn, especially if they're really chapped. My lips will still burn really bad from peppermint oil. So I'll use, honestly, just plain. I like just plain. Some people like lavender. I prefer just plain. I like the flavor, the smell of the beeswax and the coconut oil and the cocoa butter. It's just a nice flavor. And I'm just using a plastic spoon to mix it because I'm going to have to throw it away because it doesn't clean very well. It's very sticky.